Your character in the show is he's 100% duty and honor until he finally has an issue where family conflicts with duty. How is that going to impact him in season 2?
I wouldn't agree with that. I would say that he's 100% duty and honor. We're using family conflicts with duty. I think his motivations stay the same. I think the reason the narrative he's told himself in order to explain his decisions in his life is about his family. And it's the same reason a lot of people do some very bad things, People tell themselves stories so that they're the hero of their own stories. And this is the central dilemma for him, is that he only ever did this, as far as he's concerned, to protect his family. But it turns out that the thing that he sold himself to is turning in on his own family. So he's left with a conflict. In the second season, he continues to ascend the ladder. You couldn't be more of a do-gooder as far as the Führer is concerned. So he's pretty much, he's poised for greatness and to go higher and higher, whilst at the same time his doubts and his potential resentment and hatred towards that system is boiling too. And those two things are potentially growing in conflict. Now, I don't know much more than that, but I know the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
So in regards to playing somebody, we've been taught throughout history the Nazis were one of the most maniacal villains in all of history. What is the challenge for you as an actor to go beyond a page in the history book, to go beyond that, to show that here is John Smith. He's not, yes, he is this high commander in the Nazi regime, but he's beyond that. What was the challenge for you as an actor?
You don't have to go beyond the history books, because the history books will tell you that it was the German people. And the original Nazis were degenerates, and the Nazism is degenerate and evil. But the entire country became Nazi. Not only the entire country, but vast swathes of Britain and America were pro-Nazi. And it was an infection that took over otherwise good people and turned them. You had an entire country in Germany from 1930s onwards that more than likely didn't contain all of the most evil people in the world, but they all became Nazis. So it's to tell that story. The research I did was the research about what actually happened and what stories did normal, otherwise rational, decent people tell themselves so that they believed they were good people whilst they were Nazis. And it's amazing that they managed to do it, and they could do it again. So that for me is the point of this story and the responsibility of it, to show Smith as a human being. Because the important point is it's human beings that are capable of this monstrosity, not aliens, not special Nazi werewolves, they're not actually vampires like so many movies would have you believe. Humans can do this, and they could do it tomorrow. And that's what we need to be. By monsterizing these things, we don't do ourselves any favors. I think the responsibility is to show these people as humans, not to let them off the hook, but to keep us safe,
So what do we expect in season 2? Can you give us anything about John Smith's journey in season 2?
No, we've been doing all these interviews all days, and everyone's speaking in such generalities, because all I can tell you is that something happens, and it's quite interesting. I'm like used to talking, it's like nonsense. But as I said, it's like for Smith, he gets more and more powerful and more respected as his doubts grow. It's heading for potentially some kind of crisis. Me personally, as an actor, I want there to be major crisis for him. I hope they don't want to keep me, too steadily in the villain mold without too much. I mean, luckily, I very much like the writing so far, that it is very conflicted, it is very strange, it is confusing for an audience who want to just hate, and I think that is when it's at its best.
Thank you very much. Have a great time at Con.